Hello, hello, CraftingMantis here, and welcome back to another episode of Building with Mantis. So today we are going to be doing something slightly different, and it's very borderline building. But today we are going to be talking about enderpearls. Now, I have some tricks and stuff that I have kind of encountered over my years of playing Minecraft. So we will be getting into that. But first, let's start with the basics. So this little guy here, this is, well, not really little, but this is an Enderman, and this is where you end up getting ender pearls. So I know, there'll be some of you who are watching this who pretty much know, the basics and stuff, but I figured just in case somebody who is new to Minecraft is watching this, we'll cover the very basics. So this is an Enderman, and he is 3 tall, and so he can't get into spaces that are too tall, and so it's, good to, dig in and then anger the Enderman. You look in his eyes. This guy has no AI, so he's not going to get angry. But yeah, and then you kill him, and that's how you end up getting ender pearls. Now, this right here, this is an ender pearl, and there are 3 things that you can end up crafting with, with an actual ender pearl. So let's go ahead and grab these. So, first off, you can end up making an Eye of Ender. Now, we'll get into, how to use the Eye of Ender here in the next section. But with the Eye of Ender, you can end up making yourself a end crystal here. And these are used to summon, resummon the dragon. So you need 4 of those in order to resummon the dragon. And let's go ahead and put, it doesn't, okay. Can we do it with this? There we go. Okay. But yeah, so that is what it looks like, and you end up putting it, around the exit portal for the end, and you can end up resummoning the dragon with that. Now, the other thing that you can end up making with this is a ender chest, and it's done with that, with the Eye of Ender and the obsidian, and so we end up with an ender chest. So those are the 3 crafting recipes that you can end up using the ender pearl and the Eye of Ender for. Now with this one right here, this is how to get to the end. So in order to find the end portal, you can end up using the Eye of Ender, and you basically, shoot it up, and let's see, where did it go? There it went. Now, as you can see, it, that one ended up breaking. And every once in a while they will break, but you end up, shooting it up, and it's saying, hey, we're going that direction. But when you end up getting close to where the actual end portal is, it'll end up going into, into the ground. And so, at that point, okay, I need to actually dig down here, in order to actually get to the end portal. Now, once you do find it, a lot of times, it'll have no ender pearl or eyes of ender in it, or it'll have one. There's very few times, it's very, very rare, I think, for, to have an actual, full one, or just, just missing one. Usually they end up showing up either as no eyes of ender or just a single one. Basically, what you do is you go around and you place your eyes of ender, and then you end up placing the last one, and the portal will actually, summon in. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't do it on this one. But we've got the, you put the last one in, and it'll end up opening up the portal so that you can then actually head out into, into the end. In fact, I think it might end up being, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's get rid of these and see if it'll decide to actually do it. Nope. Okay, for some reason the end portal is not working. But it will work once you actually, you get to, the end portal that's in, in the world. Now, the reason why I have the carved pumpkin in the, in my inventory is because that allows you, because you can actually, here, let's go into the actual inventory. You can actually wear a carved pumpkin. And so this does come in handy for when you're in the end. If you have a tendency to accidentally, look at Endermen and stuff, you can also get resource packs that will actually make it so that, you don't end up with the very limited visibility for that. So it does come in really handy, because then you can end up working in the end and not have to worry about angering a whole lot of Endermen. Now this next one, this is the Endermite. When you throw ender pearls, there is a 5% chance that when the ender pearl lands, that an endermite will end up getting summoned. Granted, if you don't name tag it after 2 minutes, it does, it does naturally despawn no matter how far you are away from it. I mean, you could be literally, standing right next to it. If it hits the 2-minute mark, poof, it's gone. So that's the reason why I have, even with no AI, I ended up having to name tag the endermite. As I was prepping this, 2 minutes later, poof, endermite gone. So he has been officially named. So yeah, and then endermen really, really hate endermites. And so, if there's an endermite around, all the endermen will try to attack it. And so that's, kind of the mechanics of the enderman farm, is that you end up using an endermite to lure all the endermen into, an area where you can actually kill them. Now, this right here, we are, I'm going to show you one of the tricks that I ended up learning. I had actually learned this from Nerd when I first started playing, Minecraft. And so what it is that you end up for your 2x2 trees, so like your spruce trees and your jungle, you don't really need this trick for the dark oak because, the dark oak doesn't get too tall. But basically what you do, and so let's go ahead and switch these around. You come up next to your sapling, you end up throwing up your enderpearl, and then you bone meal the tree, and you end up on top of the tree. So instead of having to spiral staircase up in order to get all of the wood, you're on top of the tree. And so you can just end up, coming in and just going down the tree like this in order to get all of the wood. So let's go ahead and get out of here. But yeah, so that trick is, especially useful, when you've gotten like an enderman farm and stuff, and you need to farm a whole bunch of trees and don't want to make an actual like tree farm. This is a great way to do it because, it's really simple. Just straight up throw your pearl and then bone meal your, saplings, and you'll land on top of the tree. Sometimes you'll land a little bit below, and so you'll end up in, in the leaves and stuff. But 99% of the time you'll end up getting up to the top. Sometimes, the tree doesn't necessarily want to grow, and it does end up coming, the pearl comes all the way down, and so you don't end up on the top. But, if that's just the case, you can end up just, enderpearling up and doing it that way. So the last trick I wanted to show you guys is the teleporting to an entity. This is one of those that I found that not a lot of people actually knew about this, and I'm actually going to use the enderman here since he's a little bit closer. But if there's somebody, say like a player or a cow or enderman, well, you probably don't want to do enderman or pigment because it does damage the entity. But if you actually aim at an entity, see, he ended up teleporting away. But you can actually, teleport to an entity rather than an actual, like, a block or something. Because most people, they throw the enderpearl and teleport to where they need to be. Whereas you can end up, basically teleporting to, to an entity rather than, and that time I missed, rather than an actual, like, block or something. So that definitely comes in handy. So let's say you end up, you're playing on a multiplayer server. You find yourself in a hole, but nowhere really to, like, actually throw the enderpearl without potentially hurting yourself. So let's say, like, there's lava around and you don't want to misjudge and end up in the lava. If your buddy's standing there, you can just end up teleporting, to the actual player. So this was a guy, see how he ended up lighting up red? That's the reason why you don't want to do it towards pigmen or endermen, because it does hurt them and they do not like it. And so you definitely want to be careful with that, so that you don't accidentally end up making something angry that you don't want to get angry. So yeah, so those are the tips and tricks for the enderpearls. It was one of those that, there's been, several people who didn't know the trick with the trees or the actually teleporting to an entity. So I thought this would be good to, put it out there so, anybody watching the video can end up knowing how to do it as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and if you did, definitely hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, click the Mantis icon to subscribe, then hit the bell button to get notified when I put out additional content. Want to check out more of my videos? Try the one on the left, or you could check out the playlist on the right. That's it for now, but I'll see you guys in the next episode.